All right, welcome back to the Piece of Us podcast. I hope everyone's having a great day today. This is my mom and dad, Crystal, Aaron,
Hello.
and this is Joe.
Howdy.
He's the funkle, the fun uncle.
The fun uncle.
I'm not just
All
your
right.
average Joe anymore.
You've graduated from that. Sorry we missed last week's podcast. We've never missed one since we've started, but Max was really sick, and then it was his birthday, and there was just so much going on that we were not able to do one. So,
And we keep waiting till like last minute.
yeah, we are happy to be back, and we are not going to miss any more episodes. So, let's start off with Max recently did a video where he tried to cook dinner for 20 people for our family, and it was an experience, Max.
Yeah, I'm not the greatest cooker, but I've learned from the best. So I did as good as I can, but I'm a very picky eater, and there's just a ton of comments on that video about me eating chili, and I've never had it until that video.
He's never had chili before.
Yeah, I've never had a lot of foods because as a kid, if I had like a dish in front of me that I didn't think I was gonna like, I just wouldn't try it, and I would say I didn't like it, but I'd never tried it.
It's
So.
kind of funny because I think if you just watch that video, you're like, oh my gosh, like, is he just sheltered? Did they just not offer a lot of food? No, Max was the pickiest child growing up when it comes to eating, like even peanut butter and jelly sandwich, like he would not eat as a child. And so we would
Who doesn't eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
I know.
I
Now
didn't-
he will.
At one point, I thought jelly was gross, but I didn't try it. I tried it a couple years ago though, and I did like it. So
You know, it blows my mind because to hear you say that you would act like you tried it and you would say that you tried it and you didn't actually try it, it makes my heart sad.
because it was always the eat a bite to be polite, you know.
Right.
I gotcha.
That's one of the sayings we would say constantly to our kids, like eat a bite to be polite, and the kids usually will at least try a bite, and then if they don't like it from there, particularly in our household, just because some of our kids come from foster care and have eating disorders or different stuff that's going on, we do allow them to eat something else, whether it is sandwich or something else. I mean, we don't cook multiple meals, like we make one dinner, but as long as they try it, they don't like it, they can have something else. But Max, I guess, took that to the extreme growing up and didn't try anything. And now, as a 17-year-old, he has now expanded and been trying so many new foods. So I just wanted to give you parents some hope out there that even if you have a picky eater, hopefully they will grow out of it someday, and try other foods and all of that.
And don't blame yourselves because it is my fault. I've started growing now, and I've started to try a lot more foods now. So,
What are some other
Was it a
what
look
most
or a
people would think
texture
is
thing?
normal that you haven't had?
let's see. My first time having lasagna was probably a couple months ago or a month ago. Because you always made enchiladas, and you just put it in front of me, and I'm like, no, I don't like it.
And you never tried it. I make really good
I guess as a
enchiladas.
kid, it just looks gross.
I was like, is it a look or a texture thing?
I never tried it.
You never tried
So
it.
I wouldn't know texture-wise, but I guess I just looked at it, and it looks gross. So
Didn't you at one point say white rice? I think a little while back.
I didn't try white rice till I was at Disneyland like a year ago.
When you and I went and
Yeah.
grabbed that food.
Uh-huh.
Wow. So Max has been saying, that he wants to explore a little bit more, and I'm willing to try just about anything. And so when we were at Disney World in the international, Epcot, that's in Epcot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The international village, we went to the one that had to do with one of the countries in Asia, if I remember right.
I believe it was China or Japan.
It was one of those, and we tried, I think we ordered a couple of things off the menu, and you wanted to try because you hadn't, I think it was teriyaki.
I'd had never had teriyaki sauce either up until that point.
What?
Yeah.
We are like love teriyaki sauce in our house. So it's so surprising because a lot of times I didn't notice. Like you must have been really sneaky with
Oh,
it.
I'm very good at it.
Because he would sit and it would look like he had taken a bite from his food and he's like, no, I don't
The trick
really
is
like
the
it.
dog. You cut a piece off, you give it to the dog.
You never know.
No wonder Maddie's always right underneath you.
That makes sense now.
No, but I've definitely grown out of that, and I can now eat foods without being crazy.
What made you decide to change? Is it a maturity thing, an age thing?
I don't know. It's probably just a maturity thing, I guess. I guess you just hit a certain age where you're like, why am I not eating this? You know, worst case scenario, you spit it out. You know, I guess it's just an age thing. Maybe I don't know.
So I think every kid is completely different, but I think for some it's a texture thing. I know with certain foods, like I don't like texture of it, like mushrooms, I don't particularly like.
Love
I have
mushrooms.
tried them. I just don't like
Oh,
the
tell them your
texture of
steak.
I'm
them.
trying. I'm
Tell them
trying
your
to be
steak day.
vegetarian right now, so I'm this whole month, and so I'm eating a lot of mushrooms. So
Oh.
you might be in trouble if you try that.
How do you like your steak cooked?
Medium
Prepare yourselves,
well?
guys.
Medium rare.
Medium well? Or what do I like my steak?
You like yours
Aaron
well
knows
done.
better.
You do well done, don't you?
Okay, so I always have liked it well done. Here's the thing. I was so scared of raw meat. I still have not actually tried sushi before. I know I probably shouldn't admit that. I'm kind of picky too. Aaron has expanded.
You
what I
actually have
eat.
tried sushi.
I have. When?
You tried that California roll the other day,
You told me that had just rice and seaweed.
and a
Well
little fish
done.
in there.
Mission passed.
Oh, okay. I'm finding
it-
out today's episode.
but
I
it-
have tried sushi.
It was a texture thing. She didn't like the texture.
Yeah, I didn't love it. I mean, I did like the flavor
You
of
didn't
it.
know
It
a
was really good,
California
but-
roll was sushi?
He told me that one didn't have any meat in it. That's what he said. Lies, all the lies. I'm just kidding. So, okay, with that though, I feel like some kids it's texture wise, some kids it's looks. And I think it's funny because you know how a lot of people are doing the bento boxes where they make the little sandwich look like a butterfly, or they make the orange have a little face
Is
on
that
it,
actually a
and like
strategy? That never worked on me as
it
a
is a
kid.
strategy. No, I feel like it works on Aurora. If it looks cute, Aurora will eat it. And if they put hot
Well,
sauce on
yeah,
it, she loves hot
Aurora will eat anything with hot sauce. So.
She loves everything.
Has to be
with
the right hot sauce, though.
It does have
Right.
to be the right hot sauce.
Right. One thing though that we're really careful on in our house is to never food shame. A lot of times when people develop eating disorders or different things, and obviously there's a lot to that subject, but in our household, something that we've noticed is a lot of the kids who have come with that is because food was always associated with something negative. Like the parents would be like, "Hey, I don't have money, to eat or to buy this kind of food. We all have to split a hamburger, like one hamburger, and we're all splitting it up." Or there just wasn't food in the house, and they would have to dig through the trashes, or they would have to go through different things. And so, food was a survival thing, a true survival. And in their mind, it wasn't associated with a good feeling. And so, coming into that, we be very careful on not making comments about what our kids will and won't eat and that kind of thing, or making them feel bad about that kind of stuff. That's kind of why we're like, hey, try it. And if it's if not, it's okay. And we never like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you don't like this or that kind of thing. We just say, hey, good job on trying that. And we move on from that. And then I feel like creating one thing that's helped in our household is creating the eating experience as a positive experience. Family dinners are so huge because it's a social event. And you can really see as the kids develop and grow those bonds in our family, the eating kind of change according to those relationships. And it's not something that I never really like put together actually until recently. But as we sit and eat together and it's this family and we're laughing and joking and having fun, enjoying the food and trying different good food or new foods that Aaron's trying to cook or whatnot, it becomes just a positive experience. And I feel like that has really, really helped in our family, just creating that positive, around eating.
Aaron, as we cook on our channel, on the Beyond Crazy channel, we've done some different foods, and a lot of the stuff we've done, the kids have never tried before. And I don't want to call the kid out, but I'm sure you know exactly who I'm thinking of. Every time when we start making it, it's like, oh, what are you making? And we explain it. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's gross. I'm not going to try that. And then as he starts to see us cooking it and start smelling it and those kind of things, he's the very first one to stand right up there going, okay, I really want some of this.
He's definitely getting better at trying new foods. And I think it has definitely helped to have positive experiences. We've created something for that channel and then we're like, oh, we don't think you'll like it. And sometimes that reverse psychology really gets him to want to try more. And so we're like, okay, well, why don't you just try it? And then he eats a little bit. Oh, that's really good. I want more of that.
And I think you guys make, and I love something that you guys do on your channel is you make eating fun again. And you guys are doing different challenges like, okay, do you like this kind or that kind as you guys did for the Super Bowl? You did, chicken versus, I forgot what
It
yours
was a
made, like a
Philly
like a
Philly
Philly
cheesesteak
cheesesteak.
nachos.
Just
But
saying, I called it Kansas City one.
It was, yeah.
but you guys made it so fun. Like, oh my gosh, do you guys like this one more? Do you like this one more? And then having the kids vote and having that experience of this is fun and you can try things and it's okay if you don't like it, but you tried it. And it was about the experience of the food. And that's something too, as we go out to different restaurants and different things that normally I'm like, I don't know. But that experience has really changed my mind about food.
Let
For
me
that,
ask you a question. Do you think I was a picky eater when I was a kid?
I would say no.
You would say that, but
I-
that is
I
incorrect.
think, if I remember right, you were.
I was a very picky kid.
You were picky?
I was. I was just like Max. He probably got it from me.
yeah, did you hit that certain age where you just like
Yeah,
were open to trying things?
growing up, like I just, and maybe it was a look thing. I just wouldn't try a lot of things. But then, you start. I got to a certain age, and I was like, I've never had that. I don't have a reason to say no to trying it right now. Let me just try it. And then I've had so many good experiences where I tried it that I'm like, okay, I'm willing to try pretty much anything once to see if I'll like it. But I was not that way when I was a kid. I was so picky when I was a kid.
I heard that you have to try a food. Is it 10 times or 100 times? I don't know. Some number so many times, and then all of a sudden you will like it. Do you think
Interesting.
that's a real thing? I don't know. An acquired taste kind of thing.
What's your
Aaron,
favorite
sounds like
food?
you're getting a lot of sushi in the next little bit.
Oh, no.
I mean, I always liked sushi, but again, I didn't try sushi for a very long time.
I think I was scared of sushi because of being pregnant. That's one of the things that they say not to have while you're pregnant. And so being pregnant over the years, I'm like, if it's not good for pregnant people, why would it be good if I wasn't pregnant? And so I think I was always scared of it and had this fear behind it. And so I think that's what drove me never to really try sushi. So with Joe, were you picky growing up? I would guess no, but
Not at all.
I don't think his mom would let him. I don't think he had a choice in that.
So yeah, we didn't get like optional stuff. I remember when I was really young, it was like either you get this or it was, sorry, Mom, I'm not trying to put you on blast, but it was like you get this or you get basically like bread and water, maybe a peanut butter sandwich, but no jelly, no honey. It was just peanut butter and bread and water, and that's no fun. So it's like, okay, I'd rather eat this other thing. But very quickly growing up, I really just realized I liked most things, and my mom started to recognize if there was a food I didn't like, I didn't go back for seconds. Once, if I just ate one regular sized plateful and was done, it meant I didn't like the food, but I still would eat it. It wasn't a problem. And that definitely served me well when I moved overseas.
right. So he served a mission for 2 years in Fiji, and you had to eat some interesting stuff.
Can I say?
Yeah.
They were normal foods there. I had, there were times where it was like we'd be there and all of a sudden it's like, hey, where's your dog? And they just kind of give you a funny look and you realize that's what you're eating.
That's terrible.
They were some of the people there were very, very poor, but they really wanted to share a meal with with the missionaries. And so it was like, all right, they would do stuff. And I've had cat, bat, rat, dog, mongoose, all sorts of stuff. And honestly, some of the best foods I had, it was like, ooh, this is really good. What is it? And they're like, oh, do you like it? Here, eat more. And that was always the hint when they wouldn't tell me right away what it was. Don't ask, just enjoy the meal.
Oh my gosh.
And I learned like, hey, there's a lot of foods out there that to us might seem weird, but to other people, it's totally normal. Like menudo. I love menudo. It's got tripe in it, which is going to be like the cow's stomach and intestine stuff. And it's like, that seems really gross, but that is a massive thing with cultures. A lot of cultures eat that. And I realized as long as I get beyond this seems weird, a lot of foods taste really, really good.
I think it's interesting because there are different cultures and different foods that is normal in that and then seems weird in something else. And I think that that's part of that eating experience is some of it is a mind game. Some of it is just what you're putting in your mind and what you're thinking about the food and what you're associating that smell with or that experience with and all of that. So I think that that's
I will say one food that I want to try more of is Indian food. We've talked about doing Indian food. Um, so I want to put out there that we don't have a lot of Indian restaurants that are like native cuisine around us. I think it'll be
Authentic.
difficult to find.
And
So,
I just want to confirm you're talking about from India,
correct.
not Native
Yeah,
American.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
India. And there's a couple of things that I've tried I love, but I think we're gonna end up having to make it on our channel.
I think that would be cool. I think that would be really cool for the kids.
One of your
to try.
daughters reached out to me and said she wanted to try something recently. So that's something we can definitely go explore. It was Ariana said she wanted to try some.
Excellent. We'll
That'd
have to
be
give that a
amazing.
try.
It was funny when the kids were younger too. I was having a hard time, especially with Max being so picky, at kids eating vegetables. And I remember I saw an episode on Oprah, and it was this cookbook that you used puree vegetable stuff when you were making things. So, like, you can make chicken nuggets, but it would actually have like broccoli puree in it, but they wouldn't know. And so I went out and I bought all this baby food thinking I was going to put it into the kids' food and I was going to make them eat their vegetables, whether they knew they were eating them or not. It did work on some foods. I will say the cookbook was amazing. I don't remember what it is offhand, but I will put it in the description so you guys could see that. But it did some of the foods it worked in. But it is a lot more work when you're cooking with that kind of stuff because you do have to make sure you have it. And then there was the whole, baby food had some bad stuff in it, and so it's there was a lot with it, but I will say that it did work. So that is one option if you are struggling with your kids eating vegetables. I have some kids though as teenagers that still won't eat all the vegetables, but they will at least try them, and we're working on that. I do think Green Chef, we ordered, you guys have probably seen on our channel, Green Chef a lot, but there's a lot of foods in there that they would come with different kinds of things. Some of my kids didn't realize they liked broccoli until we cooked them through Green Chef, and they were trying it, and they were really experiencing that, and now they like broccoli, so yeah.
I had to bribe your kids one of the times while you guys were gone, doing some filming,
Oh, I remember this.
where the kids would not. It was like, all right, you guys have to eat something healthy, right? When I'm watching, I'm like, oh, I got to feed you something healthy. It's got to be good. And none of the kids wanted to eat like any vegetables. And so we had some salad and we had some broccoli, and it was like, all right. And I went and bought a bunch of bags of Takis, but there were like 4 of the boys were right there, but I only pulled out 3 bags of Takis and was like, all right, whoever eats all of their greens, pick one, either a bowl of salad or, a side of broccoli. Whoever eats all their greens gets a bag of Takis, but I only have 3 bags, so it's first come, first serve once you're done. And all the boys were like, oh my gosh, I don't want any of this stuff. And man, they were like a Hoover vacuum racing to eat all of it up. And then I finally, for the last kid, they were all bummed out and was like, it's okay, here you go. But I kind of had to bribe them, but also make a game out of it. And it was funny because one of them actually was like, hey, that wasn't actually that bad. Like, yeah. So kind of making it fun,
Yeah.
finding creative ways they did. So what's a weird food we're going to get you to eat again, Max? Or to try? What's next?
Oh, I don't know.
What's an everyday food that you haven't
Yeah, let's
tried
not go
that-
weird. What's
I was
what's
like,
normal?
we don't even need to try.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I don't know.
He tried ranch for the first time.
Ranch sucks. I don't know why people like ranch. I hate ranch. I don't know why people like ranch. I don't
What?
understand
It's so
it.
good.
I even tried the ranch chicken biscuits you got me. Those are gross.
You didn't like those?
No,
So I take it we're not going to get him any blue cheese.
no. Ranch. If you like ranch, I don't get it.
What?
I don't
We've always
understand.
grown up with ranch in our house. We love
I
ranch.
had never had it until like a couple weeks ago.
So I'm curious, what ranch did you have? Was it the Hidden Valley?
I have no idea. But I tried it on pizza. Why?
I will say one of the
Yeah, no.
things I've wanted to
I-
try is making my own ranch. I've seen so many things online about making your own ranch, and like it's so much better tasting and so much better for you. So I'll have to try making some and have you try it. See if you
I don't
like
know.
it.
I don't get the.
I think it's
ranch
good
thing.
for like on hot wings or something like that, but I'm with you on pizza. Absolutely not. Pineapple belongs on pizza long before ranch does.
I love pineapple. I love ranch. I like all that on my pizza. But okay, one other thing when it comes to food and cooking and all of that. So I think I don't know, misinformation out there is I actually did the cooking in our household for the first like 15 years of our marriage.
She really did.
I was the pretty much the sole cook. Aaron really didn't cook a lot, but he did work nights at the hospital. And so he was gone a lot and we would do dinners, I would do dinners with the kids by myself, but and then once Aaron didn't work nights anymore and at the hospital, I was like, your turn. The baton has been tossed to you. And now he does the main cooking in the house. What advice would you give somebody as like a cooking tip, or if you're having a hard time? Because I know some nights when dinner comes around, Aaron and I are both like, who's going to make dinner, or what are we making, or what motivates you to cook
I would
and
like
to
if you
enjoy
guys
it?
split it. Like, as in my personal opinion, I like certain meals that you make more, and then I like certain meals that you make more. Like, I think you make a really good chicken noodle soup, but
Oh, thanks.
his is okay.
Oh,
Except when you put the
oh
pepper,
no.
it made it spicy, and that was good. That was really good. But I don't know. There's certain meals both of you make that are better than the other. So I
That's
don't know.
interesting. I didn't know that you felt that way.
Okay, I'm curious. The chicken noodle soup, real quick.
He's not gonna let it go.
Aaron just all of a sudden you
No,
saw
no,
him.
no.
He's like, "Ooh,
No, I'm
challenge."
curious because she was the primary cook as
Uh-huh.
he was growing up, and so I think a lot of times it comes back to that positive experience.
I
So
know,
I'm
maybe
wondering if there was a
nostalgia.
time when he was a kid and he was like sick or something, and Crystal made him chicken noodle soup, and that positive memory from his childhood is like, oh, I want to get back to that.
It
You know?
could be that.
Or it
'Cause she
could
would
just
always
be
make
that
the
my chicken noodle
muffins.
soup's better. I'm
It,
just kidding.
I think Aaron, I think you are onto something. I mean, Crystal's right. Hers is just going to be better. Just go with this, Aaron. Go with this.
I'll let her have this one. 'Cause there's so much else that I make better.
I think
than
you're
her,
right
so.
though, because how often does somebody have like, oh, you know what? Nobody makes it like my mom. My mom's got the best recipe. My nana, my grandma's got the best
A lot of
recipe.
the time, it's just nostalgia.
And you
but-
try it, and you're like, this isn't that great.
But it's the nostalgia.
It's the nostalgia. It's what you grew up on, what you got used to. So, and everybody's got different palates and things like that. So it could be differences. Like he really liked yours when it's really peppery, but I don't know how peppery yours is because I
She
don't
doesn't
actually like
use that
chicken
much
soup.
Not very
pepper.
much pepper. A little bit. A little bit. That's interesting, though. I would love to sit each one of you guys down, each one of the kids down, and say, okay, which meal do you like that I make? What do you like that the dad makes? And kind of create a list that we could go back and forth a little more. I don't enjoy cooking, I will say that. And maybe because I was the primary one doing it for 15 years, it got so. I don't know. I did try different recipes that were fun, though. I
Did you?
did do some.
I gotta
fun
say,
ones.
I miss cheese
But-
and chicken.
I was gonna say you
Oh,
should make the
Cheez-It
cheese chicken again.
chicken.
Because I never tried that. I said I didn't like it, but
Oh, yeah, that's the other kid's favorite one. I actually was just watching the news one day and they had like a little like scene in there where like a chef came on and was cooking. And I was like, "Oh, I got that." And I totally recreated it and it turned out really good, but I haven't made it in like so many years. I should make that and then deliver it to like Alex and Hallie and Ariana cuz they would be
That would
so
be funny.
excited. Yeah, they would love that.
And I've been my own primary chef for the last 20 years. Like, what?
You got to find someone to pass the baton to.
That's true. That's true.
But what motivates you? What do you like about cooking, Aaron? Because you do seem very passionate about it, and I see him in the kitchen, and he is like in it. Like I don't know, you're so focused on cutting those peppers to the right size, and like you're very like perfection when it comes to the kitchen.
I I think at some point in my life, I had some really positive food experiences, and so it's ingrained in my head, and I think I had good relationships when I was having that good food. And so I've created this connection between a good meal, a good tasting meal, and having fun with the people around you. And so for me, I think it's just I really want to create an environment where, and we have a lot of kids that struggle, with different foods. And so I think for me, it's come to a point where I want to create an environment where a kid will hopefully try, something, and if they don't, that's okay. I get it. There's things that I don't like to eat in this world, and being the chef, obviously, I'm not going to cook them, but my kids aren't always the ones cooking, which I'm trying to do more of. But
So would you say what motivates you to cook is to see other people enjoying your food, or you enjoying it yourself?
absolutely,
Or
and
just...
I guess it comes back to my love language too, because I love, um, why can't
Words of affirmation.
words of affirmation. And so I love it when I cook a meal and then the people that are trying it genuinely come up and be like, that was a really good meal. That's something that I would have again,
One of my favorite things is, well, this happened a year or so ago, but Melinda came back and was like, "Hey, Mom, I really loved your enchiladas. Can I get the recipe? I want to make it for my family. I want to make it for Scarlett." And passing on recipes, I feel like to your kids, it's again something you don't think about as you're cooking for your kids, and you don't really like think about those future moments. But it was such a sweet moment that I'm like, she enjoyed it so much that she wants to create that memory and that food for her family. And I loved that. So
The
that's something that was special.
cookbook that I use more than any other. Yeah, I still like the paper. There's just something cool about having your cookbook right there instead of just on your phone. But
Yeah.
my family years ago, everybody took all of their recipes and put them together, and my grandma made a cookbook.
Oh, I
And
love that.
it's something really fun. So maybe that's something that maybe we look into is get some of these things that we've made.
Maybe when we
Max's hot dogs can even go in there.
No,
they were really good hot dogs.
I mean,
No, you did amazing.
they were good.
They
Yeah,
were
they
good.
were good.
Look,
They were good.
my one critique is the chili. He used canned chili in his, which canned chili, yes, can be okay. But I
Can-
must say, when
Can be.
yeah.
But
When we were in St. John's, I started making my own chili. And I have to say, when you make your own chili, it's just leaps and bounds above what canned chili can be. And I think it really could have made that meal pop, the pop that you were looking for.
I liked it. I enjoyed them. I felt like
It was
they were
good.
I wish I would have done better on the bacon. The bacon could have been crispier, but
And I feel like that's what cooking's about, is all that learning experience and all of that with it.
and also I think I would prefer to grill them.
I don't know. The cast iron hot dog was pretty good. I will say, like, we did a lot of research online before whatnot, and that was the recommended cooking medium for it. So
in my neighborhood, all throughout the weekend, they have little pop-up stands everywhere that do all the Sonoran hot dogs and things like that. They're super delicious.
So let's end it here with our best piece of advice when it comes to food. If you're having food anxiety, if you're feeling a certain way about food, or you're just struggling to try new things, what would be your best piece of advice? We'll start with Aaron.
So I think in a lot of cases it comes down to a look. And if you look at something and it's making you feel anxious about trying it, try to find a way that you can like close your eyes and eat whatever it is that you're going to try. Because when you remove one of your senses from the experience that's causing that anxiety, it can help with that, right? So like Max was explaining that, he didn't try a lot of things when he was young because they looked poor. Well, if you can take out the visuals, so just close your eyes, make your fork, close your eyes, give it a couple minutes, think about something else, grab the fork with your eyes closed, try it. That can help.
So just stick it in a tortilla, wrap it up, stick it in a tortilla, and then you can't see it.
And that's another great option. You could try masking it with something else, and then something that you enjoy. If it's bread or a tortilla, yeah, you could put it in there.
I love that. All right, Max.
Oh, me. Just eat it.
Just eat
You only live once.
it. YOLO.
Worst that could happen is you spit it out or throw up.
I've got a few foods that I think we're going to have you try in the next little bit then.
You'll recover. You'll be all right.
Just
my
eat it.
advice.
It's kind of like Nike, but with Max, it's
Just do it.
just eat
Just eat
it.
it.
Just
instead
eat
of
it.
Just do it. All right, Joe.
I think it helps to realize a lot of these foods out there, when you see tons of other people liking them, it's very common for certain cultures, and maybe it's not a real niche thing, but it's very, very common. Like say sushi, for example, realizing like, okay, it seems weird to me to eat raw fish, but there are sushi restaurants everywhere. It must be really good. A ton of people really love this. Just go in with an open mind and realize like, this is not necessarily even a weird delicacy. Like, I don't know if I'm going to go eat scorpions or anything, because that's kind
I have
of
a
weird.
scorpion sucker if you would like that.
Nope,
Yeah,
nope,
do have
nope. But it's one of those where it's kind of like, all right, hey, if a lot of people are going to try this or a certain type of food, there's a reason tons and tons of people like these things. So just go in with an open mind and maybe try a buffet even, because although the foods at buffets are maybe not always as good as just the regular meal itself, it gives you a general idea. And buffets tend to be a little bit more mellow and bland compared to the regular dish, so that it does appeal to more people. So you can kind of taste a basic version of it and realize, hey, this isn't too bad. Now you can go back and try that, off the menu, and then you're really going to enjoy it.
For me, one of the things that, and we've struggled with over the years, is having a daughter who got diagnosed being allergic to gluten. And her being so upset and seeing how sad and upset she was. And at the time, we lived in a little small town where there weren't a lot of store resources as like Trader Joe's and Sprouts and like all these different stores that had more options. We really only had a Walmart by us. And so our options were limited, but we figured out ordering online. There was whole stores out there that have gluten-free options. And her biggest thing and talking about it, it was like, I feel like I'm missing out on that experience because, as we said earlier, eating is an experience. And when someone, the family goes down to sit and eat together and a child can't have what you're having because it's not gluten free or that kind of thing, is something we really had to switch up how we did things. And we found like gluten-free noodles, we found gluten-free pizza, whatever we were making. And Aaron did an amazing job at this, but he found the alternative to it so that Hallie and our family could still have that family experience, even if it looked a little different than what it looked like, before she got. And then just recently, Hannah doing gluten-free and dairy-free and certain other foods. And it's kind of been back to that square one of like, okay, let's figure this out. And I mean, we're still in the process
But
of
we're also
figuring
in
it
a better
out.
place that's easier to get
Yes. So
those
much
kind
more
of foods.
options now. And so we've tried all the different stores and all the different foods and we're really testing and trying. But I would say if you're struggling with food or you're dealing with something like this, to find a buddy, find somebody and still have that experience with. And I'm trying her, gluten-free, dairy-free pizza with her. And
That was crazy. From Barrows,
I know. It's crazy that there's all these
two things that
options
are
out
in
there.
pizza.
Right. And they figured out a way to make it work without both of those. So we were just trying different foods and we're still having that experience. And, Hannah's doing really good at figuring out what she likes and doesn't like. And it's all about trying different and new things and being out of the box a little bit. So definitely create that experience if you're struggling in that area and find someone you can experience that with. So. All right. Well, that is the end of the podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you guys and hear you guys next time.
We hope that we didn't make you hungry.
I'm
If we
starving
did,
right now. I just want
I'm
to throw that out
starving.
there.
Let's go eat.
I'm starving as well. Let's go eat.
Let's go try something new.
All right. Try some sushi. All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.